I have 9 role models I've met today. So let me bring on stage the 9th wonderful person that I met today, Miss Vithya. She's an international makeup artist for Vithya Hair and Makeup.
Hi everyone. Oh, I think I fixed it. Hi. Okay, amazing to be here. Hi everyone. I know amongst all the doctors and VPs and managers, I'm just a mere makeup artist. But I wanted to give you a different type of a session today where I'm talking about an experience of the subjects like depression, anxiety that a lot of us do face and go through. So I wanted to give you a personal story and then just kind of tell you how I practice mindfulness and how it's helped me, get through everyday life. Now, just to kind of tell you a little bit about myself and what I do. Okay. As we know, I'm a hair and makeup artist. Right, so my work, just to tell you a little bit about what I do in terms of makeup. So you can see on the left side, I specialize in bridal makeup, so that's what I have been doing for a really long time. I went to London College of Fashion, so I used to live in the UK, and then I got married and I moved here 1.5 years ago. So I used to do, I still do bridal makeup, and in the last 2 years I've actually been teaching around the world as well, so I teach makeup master classes, and I've finished I've done about 16 classes so far, and I started YouTube, I'm on social media, and even one of the videos at the bottom where it's a very poor video actually that I shot on my phone in my room of how to drape a sari, which has got nearly 6 million views now, so it's, but yeah, as glam as this looks, and you're probably thinking, oh, makeup artist, you probably breathe, live, dream, makeup. It's not necessarily like that. I have gone through a lot, and that's kind of what I wanted to share. So just to talk a few topics here, and I know we covered a few here in terms of depression and anxiety. Anxiety is something new to me actually. I thought I knew the definition of anxiety, but I was actually really impressed to learn quite a few things today, especially during the panelist session as well. So Hero, some of the things that you were talking about anxiety and what anxiety actually means made me think. So I'm definitely taking something away today, so thank you for that. So I just wanted to tell you about me. I'm a Sri Lankan Tamil. I was born in Sri Lanka, and when me and my family moved to Germany at the time, it's because we had a civil war, so we had to leave, we had to take refuge. And the time that my parents left, you have to think of it this way, they were in their mid-20s, 25, 26, had me. They had to leave their family. My mum was doing a law degree, she had to actually leave her studies. And leave culture, traditions, everything, and moved to Germany in the 80s, which, to be honest, back then in the 80s, it was a bit of a racist country as well. So it was really, really tough on my parents, who, instead of studying, had to take up cleaning jobs, and we lived in a refugee camp. None of us spoke German. 2 years later, my sister was born, and going to school, it was really tough. Primary school, I was bullied for my color because I was the only colored person in my entire school, and I used to get kicked, I used to get punched in my break times just because of the way I looked, because I looked different from every other kid around me. And I never cried, it was a time where I was trying to understand what was happening to me. I didn't have any friends, I couldn't speak to my parents because they were constantly working, 2-3 jobs a day. And I used to hide myself in my toilet cubicles just to avoid from being beaten up, basically. And as a kid, you don't understand depression, you don't understand anxiety, you don't really know what's going on with you. You just don't want to feel negative, so you don't want, you kind of eliminate yourself from a situation. And then I started secondary school in Germany, and at this point, my German was better. I was making friends, and we didn't have school uniform, and my parents had better jobs where they were able to buy me cool clothes. I fitted in with the kids, and it was great. But then, unfortunately, my parents made the decision of moving to the UK when I was 14 years old, and I thought things would be great. I was so excited because London was always a city that I've always wanted to live in, and I thought, wow, I'm going to move to London. Unfortunately, as soon as I moved to London, I was bullied because I couldn't speak English, and so the whole circle started again, and that's when actually my depression started. Which again, for many years, I didn't even know that I was depressed, but I was depressed because I was doing really bad at school. I was really, really unhappy going to school. And one incident that I will probably never forget is that during one of my lessons, sitting in front row, I had to read a book during my English class, and I had to read a paragraph in front of everybody. And of course my English, was pretty bad. I didn't have very good pronunciation. I do wish those people are listening to me today though, that would be cool. But yeah, so I had to read a paragraph, and the class kept laughing and giggling, and when the teacher wasn't looking, one of the students who sat behind me actually threw chewing gum in my hair. And I don't know if you guys know, but chewing gum you can't easily remove. You do have to cut it off. And that's probably the first time I actually cried in school, and I thought to myself, wow, I thought things were going to get better in life, but it's just getting worse. And, it went on, and being the kind of life that my parents had, having, left Sri Lanka and having to do cleaning jobs and whatever, naturally, they don't want me to become a beautician. They want me to do, science. They want me to become a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, because of the kind of life that they had. They wanted me to have a better life. So I actually did. I went to university. I did a degree in biology and psychology. I graduated for my parents. And then one day decided, you know what, I've had enough. I've had enough of the way I was feeling, constantly down, because I think it started from my childhood, and it just kind of progressed and got worse and worse and worse. And it was, because sometimes people ask you, oh, you're depressed, why? What's going on? What's wrong in your life? And you don't have a particular reason. It can be a build-up of so many things. And, bullying especially, and obviously, out of all the things that I've talked about, that, all these things I've been through in my life, but out of all the things that I've talked about, bullying is something that I'm pretty sure a lot of us go through. It could be at work, it could be, even your husband, it could be your wife, it could be family, it could be, an everyday situation that you go through these things. And, that's why I wanted it to be a little bit relatable, because even in the corporate world, after my degree, I did work for a big marketing company in London for a year. My director actually in my company used to tell me off for not going out with them every Thursday nights or Friday nights, because I wasn't much of a drinker, but everybody in my office was drinkers, and they all went out socializing, and they felt that I wasn't participating. But how many orange juices can you drink in a night? And people just didn't understand. So I actually felt a little bit bullied. I felt peer pressured that I had to go with them, which I didn't, by the way. I was very, very unhappy at that job. And then, my depression got to the point where, unfortunately, I tried to commit suicide. I cut my wrist. My dad found me, ended up in hospital, and that's when my journey of therapy and antidepressants started, because the doctors wouldn't obviously let me leave unless I was seen by a professional. And so years of it I actually had, and I took antidepressants for about 3 years, and years of it, of feeling down and speaking to somebody professional, that if somebody had said to me then, you know what, Vithya, in about 10 years, you're going to stand on the stage for American Express and you're going to have a talk about mental health, I would have never believed it. And here I am today talking to you guys about so it's been a tough time, but I got out of it, and one day I just said to my parents, you know what, I like makeup, I like fashion, it's something that actually makes me happy, let me try. If it doesn't work out for me, I'll go back to my 9-to-5 job. Nothing against 9-to-5 jobs, by the way. It's something that I really, really wanted to do. So my parents actually said yes, of course, try it out, why not? I was unmarried at the time, I didn't have any responsibilities, and I thought I'll give it a shot. So, I've been a self-employed makeup artist now since 2013. I've been doing this for about 11 years. And then I thought, you know what, I'm on social media. What do I want to think? What do I want to do? How do I want to use my platform, of being a makeup artist? And I am internationally known amongst my community especially. So I do get flown out to a lot of countries, and I teach in a lot of countries. I've been to, taught in Toronto, Sydney, Zurich, London, name it. And as great as it is, I thought to myself, you know what do I want to do? I would like to share my story just so that other women, especially from, I think an Asian community as well, sometimes get so pressured to not talk about things like mental health and bullying, and there's a stigma around it, or divorce, or whatever. And I wanted it to be like, let me use my voice to kind of help people think about how they can, do something about it and, feel a little bit better. So we're going to talk about mindfulness, and I'm not going to bore you with, the definition or any of the stuff, because we've already had a lot of people talk about mindfulness and what mindfulness means. To me, mindfulness is to be present, to think about today and not think about tomorrow, not think about the past. And the things that I've been through, being depressed or having anxiety or whatever, common things would be, yes, therapy. I had therapy, which I personally thought was amazing. It was an amazing, amazing experience for me. And now that I haven't suffered from depression since 2013, actually, that's when I weaned off my medication and I've been feeling better, and thankfully I've not fallen back into that. Is that, therapy really, really helped me, and I still think it's something that I would even like to do now. Not because I'm feeling down, but sometimes just to get me through managing, and getting through day-to-day life sometimes as well. Of course, seeking support from friends and family, I think that's really, really important. And I know some of you might think, I can't really speak to my dad or my mom about this, they wouldn't really understand. I think it's our responsibility to teach them. And my parents, coming from, the world that they came from, never understood depression and never understood how to help me until I sat them down one day and said, look, this is how I'm feeling, and this is how you can help me. And I think that's really important, that sometimes you should just speak up, and you should just speak to the people next to you, and friends. If you can't do it with your family, then try and do that with your friends. That's one thing I definitely learned from therapy, to just open up and talk about it. Another thing would be, of course I talked about medication, yoga, gym, exercise, that was mentioned before as well. It does really, really help, just to kind of get, your focus, your mind of things. Healthy eating, so we had Dr. Tan as well talk about healthy eating, how important it is. I know we're talking about mindfulness, and we all think mindfulness is just your brain, but mindfulness can be, mindful eating, and if your gut is healthy and you're feeling healthy and great, it really, really reflects as well, so it's really, really important. Religion, actually, I myself converted to Christianity, and religion at the time did really help me. Some of you might be religious, some of you might not, whatever helps you, but it really, really helped me, give me discipline, guidelines, and it's not something I practice as much anymore, unfortunately, but it did help me. Or buying a new handbag and getting a copy of something. I did put only joking, please don't do that. That is a temporary solution. I mean, if a designer bag makes you happy, go for it. So that's what I'm trying to say, just anything to help your mental health, something to be mindful about, just to kind of make you feel a little bit better. Now, I just put these things together of how to practice mindfulness and how I practice mindfulness. So to all the doctors out here or professionals, please, don't throw tomatoes at me if I say something wrong. This is just my own experience of how I practice mindfulness. Mindful breathing. Who here has watched Bad Boys 2 with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith? Come on, really? Bad Boys 2? Okay, a few of you. Okay. So I don't know if you've ever come across this. Yes, so that's the movie. If you have not seen it, please do watch it, because I actually do not remember the movie anymore, but the only thing that I took back is the who's. And it really, really helps, because especially when I have bridal jobs, and my bride's being a bird seller, she's driving me nuts, and I'm doing her hair. Trust me, I just do this. And I just do her hair, and I just feel so much better already. So it actually does help. And a lot of times we just want to, you wish you could say something, but you have to bite your tongue. When that's the situation, it could be your boss, somebody might say something to you, badly wish you could say something back. Trust me, the mindful breathing does help. Observation. Okay, now observation is just, we saw the video about being in traffic jam and stuff. So just to observe, I mean, don't pay attention to driving, of course, but I'm just saying, just observing little things. If you're on the train maybe, or if you're at work and you just arrive and you just observe little things to you, it just takes your mind off things. You can focus on something, and that kind of helps me sometimes. Like just, sometimes when my bride's late or a client's late and I just sit there in the car, I'm just mindful. I look at the road, I look at the houses, and I'm like, oh, this bride has a really nice big house. Like little things like that, just to kind of observe. I feel just takes your mind of things. Mindful awareness. So awareness is like snapping out of a negative thought, okay, and being aware of what's happening. And being on social media, and I'm on Instagram, and you do get negative comments, and you do get negativity, you sometimes get negative, messages, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us would have faced it and have had it. And, it's natural for us to feel negative and feel really sad about it. It could even be like a colleague that made a negative comment when walking past, or, somebody says to you, oh, you've got a bit of fat time in you. And like, it's little things like this. So some of you laughing means you do hear this appetite. But so like with these negative thoughts, like snapping out of it, and it's really, really important to sit there and think to yourself, especially with these negative comments on social media, this person doesn't even know me, I don't even know them. Why should it matter, or why do I need that validation from other people? And it's just little things like that as well, like, just snapping out of it. Listening, and I think it was here we were talking about music, the 5 minutes of, and that's what it is. Listening doesn't necessarily mean listening to another person talk. It's just playing music. And I drive to work a lot. Like my hours are crazy. Sometimes I have to get to my bride at 3 o'clock in the morning, which means I have to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, travel down an hour, and get to my bride. And usually when I drive to work, I tend to listen to music. Music that really relaxes me, that really calms me down. And I listen to the lyrics, I listen to the instrument, and I break it down to little things, or sometimes I sing along to the song. And it really, by the way, there's no traffic during that time, okay, so I can, be a little bit absent sometimes, but obviously don't do that on a day-to-day basis. So that really, really helps, and like Kira said as well, for example, just, even sitting at home sometimes and just switching off and just listening to some music for about 5 minutes. The other one is immersion. Like immersion was an interesting one because immersion means you put your heart and soul into something. You're immersing yourself at something. So imagine you have a chore. So at work, you will have deadlines. You will have little things that you have to get done by, so instead of procrastinating, what I do, like I hate washing up. It's like, that's something that I said to my husband, when we move in, if there's no dishwasher, this marriage is over. And unfortunately, we didn't have space. We only had space for a washing machine, so washing machine and dishwasher. I did want to pick the dishwasher, but I was like, okay, fine. We have the washing machine, but yeah, so I have to wash up. And I think to myself now, I don't hate it as much as I probably do before, because I think to myself, you know what, let me make this an enjoyable experience. I'll put some music on, put my gloves on, whatever, because I do makeup, so I don't want to always get my hands dirty, but like, and just try and enjoy the process. So if you have a task or a deadline, don't think of it as a chore. Don't think of it as something you have to get done. Think of it as like, you're excited. You want to do this because this is a job that you chose to do. You're enjoying it, so just do it. Maybe not with washing up, but like, with everything else, like just try and enjoy it. Mindful appreciation would be my last one, and that's just being grateful of things. And it's very easy to say, just be grateful for your life, man. But I'm talking about little things, like imagine you come to work and you're sitting on your laptop, computer, whatever, appreciating little things like the fact that you have fingers, you have hands, you have hands to sit there and be able to type. And being grateful or appreciative of the people that are next to you. You could have some amazing colleagues, and just being grateful for it, because trust me, sometimes, like I do sometimes, I do get bridezillas, and there's nothing I can do about it, but I'm grateful for the fact that they still booked me, and this is a job that I'm doing, and I'm really passionate about. So it's just like stuff like that. So yeah, this is how I practice mindfulness on a day-to-day basis. This is, don't think of it like, okay, I'm going to do this now for the rest of my life. No, because that's already you not being mindful. Mindfulness is about thinking of today. Forget tomorrow, think of today, and just practice all of these things. If you can do all of these things, or even at least 2 or 3 of these things on a day-to-day basis, at work, at home, wherever you are, I find it already reduces your anxiety and the way you feel and feeling down in general as well. So yeah, what's up? And yeah, so this would be the end of my talk, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I just wanted to say again, thank you so much, American Express Hardy, for having me here. This has been such an honor, and just listening to everybody else. And just before I finish as well, Sharon over there, I mean, she said she has a 20-year-old child. She looks amazing. Like, you get that. And she's such a positive as well. So it's been amazing to listen to everybody here talk. It's been very, very inspirational. And yes, you can follow me on all the social media platforms. If any of you are getting married, you know who to book. So yeah, thank you again so much. Enjoy your